We burned a giant 50-foot wide hole in the studio Babelsberg ceiling.
Yeah, that kind of threw a wrench in the whole schedule.
There is a sickness inside us, rising like the bile that leaves that bitter taste at the back of our throats. It's there in every one of you seated around the table. Only when we know what ails us can we hope to find the cure.
I think the first question would be, did you drink enough water today? And what means wellness for you?
I do try to drink a lot of water. That actually is one thing that I try to do for wellness. But, you know, I think...
Do you look a little harder at what's in the water now?
Sure, just like inspect it and make sure it's not crawling with anything. I think wellness for me is about balance. You know, it's like not being so extreme one way or the other and finding some kind of balance in your life, you know. I think there's a lot of people that are so healthy it's unhealthy, and that I certainly try to avoid that, but I also don't want to be really unhealthy either, so try to find a balance.
Especially when you live in LA, I think you really get like many news, what you should do, what you shouldn't do.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't live in LA.
What do you mean? It's not a bad place. We have balance. Yeah. There's a lot of kale. You don't have much kale here.
Actually, we have kale, but we make it in a soup, so we cook it. So now for us, it's weird to not cook it and have it like a salad. So
kale salad, yeah.
Or juice.
Juice. Yeah.
Kale juice, yeah.
I think unique about you is how you shoot images in a Hollywood movie and how you compose them and how you use CGI. For most people, CGI is a thing about convenience. I can do something that that is easily done with that. But you do something with that which wouldn't be possible, but is very important for the movie, like the deer in A Cure for Wellness, or the little thing on the finger. It looks perfect, and it says something about the movie and the progression of the character.
The finger, the bug on the finger was real.
Really?
Yeah.
I wondered
That was actually. It was like there was like a swamp full of these. Like it's actually not. It's actually an insect. You know, so we were like trying to shoot. Remember that? It was crazy. We're trying to find them and get one that would like move and. So yeah, that we got lucky, and we try to wherever possible. I try to shoot real. Like we have a lot of real eels in the movie. And it's just good to keep people guessing. I'm glad that we caught you. But you know, it's a tool. So you employ it, you know, sparingly and with purpose.
We'd like you to go to Switzerland and bring Mr. Pembroke back to us.
What we offer here is a process of purification away from the pressures of the modern world.
You plan to take Mr. Pembroke back with you?
Is that a problem?
He's a patient, not a prisoner.
Of course, because you shot in Germany, I'm very upset with you that I wasn't cast for a psychological thriller.
It's the worm.
So when the it's the worm, it's the eel. So when the camera is off, we will talk about that. But how is it for you when you see now the movie? Are there some scenes where you think, maybe I should have done this more or something other? Because there are actors who always want to see, after they shot a scene, to see it again. How does it work?
I don't watch playback. Yeah, I don't play back. I move forward. It's
copyright.
Yeah, I mean that's one of my little things that I go by. You know, I think it's so important to me. First of all, I put a lot of work into everything I do, and I think one of the reasons I do that is just so that when the movie comes out, even though inevitably I'm going to watch it and say, oh, I wish we would have had more time on that day, or oh, now a year and a half later, if we were shooting that scene today, maybe I would have done it differently. If I can put as much work as I possibly can into it at the time, then in a way it takes away that regret.
Is your script the thing which that you read, the thing that we now see on screen, or maybe in the editing someone said, oh, why don't we try this and change something and made it shorter, or I don't know, there was a reshoot or something.
Well, I usually rarely ever do reshoots. You know, sometimes we shoot an insert or something, but we usually leave the movie with enough material to tell the story. What's constantly amazing is, you know, you have intention, you have blank page, right? And you start with intention of you want to make the story, then you have the intention of the casting, you have intention of the shoot, you have everything is like you're throwing intention at everything to try to fabricate something. In the editorial process, once the thing has like an arm and a leg and a basic shape, then it tells you, you know, and it's a very interesting turn and you have to listen, and she won't wear that hat, and she doesn't like this piece of music, and she's fickle, and she's your boss, and I'm always amazed at that process. So if you don't have all that intention going to that point, it's not going to come out the way you want it. But then once you get to that point, you have to listen to it, and it always surprises you.
You here for the cure?
No, actually, I was just leaving.
No one ever leaves.
Welcome back, Mr. Lockhart. Signs of concussion, depleted immune system. I would like to recommend a treatment.
And what was the most difficult scene to shoot for you, Bob, in this movie?
Well, Dan's probably going to say the tank, right?
I mean, the tank was the most physically demanding.
You were in the tank?
Yeah, for like 2 weeks I was in there. I mean, it took a long time to shoot that. And we also it was a multiple tank process. So we had like the set piece tank, but then there was another tank to get some of the other shots. And
yeah, the ceiling, you know, piece has to be floated in a larger tank. So if there's a problem, he can get out.
Right. So when I'm banging on the ceiling, there has to be a way out should something go wrong. Not that there was a very good way out in the other tank should something go wrong. There's basically a safety diver with a really sharp knife ready to dive in there and save you.
Which had to happen once. It's and also communication. You know, we're with a German crew, and we were British AD, and so there was a lot. There was a moment where this was the signal of something is not right, which is not a very binary signal, right? I mean, this is like, get me out, and this is, I'm okay. And so there was a moment where I was, when Dan was doing this, and I was like, okay, well, what's happened? We're trying to investigate. And for Dan, it's like, I'm not, like, this was
like, hey, like, no, don't panic, but I need to get out of here. On the underwater speaker, Gore's like, is he okay? Like, what's going on? And I was like, well, screw it. Like, I need to get out. So I did that signal, safety diver went in, cut my cords, because I'm wearing a harness on my waist that keeps my body horizontal, and there's metal cords that are bolted to the sides of the tank. So I can't move unless someone comes in and lets me out.
Because as the water was rising, I really wanted this reflection, the sense of his like leaving his body, right? So the depth of the water is changing, but he can't equalize, right? So there's a point where it's as if you're going deep in water and you can't equalize your ears, and that was occurring. But we were all like, what's he doing? Why is it? I'm like, keep rolling.
There is a terrible darkness here.
That was 200 years ago.
This is happening now. You said no one ever leaves. What happens to them?
I saw the bodies!
Listen to yourself. You're not a well man.
You're trying to make me think I'm insane.
What's happening to me? It's all part of the cure.
Was there anything where you said, okay, right now I have to find a new solution because anything unplanned happened?
We burned a giant 50-foot wide hole in the studio Babelsberg ceiling. Yeah, I mean, like,
that kind of threw a wrench in the whole schedule. Because we had to rebuild the entire cave set.
Are you allowed to come back?
So yeah,
I don't know. We haven't asked that question. We did come back. We came back. They let us back.
Yeah, we went back. Yeah, but it really messed up. You know, it's like.
I was on the local news. I mean, the whole place was burning down.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
There is no cure!
Accept the diagnosis, and you will see. wonderful here.